Okay, now everything should be working. It's because I guess Streamlabs decided to screw everything up. How it does, you know.
Should have paid more attention to this. I just don't understand Discord. I just don't understand Discord. It's just like a general chat thing.
I don't either.
And so like I wasn't paying attention to it. I have to submit like a profile thing. I mean I still have to finish my.
Is this all for the Ultraman stuff?
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what it is about Demon's Tilt, and it could just be me. It probably is me, but I don't know if it's the moving table and how it moves up and down. I tried to play it vertical today, and that seemed to work a little better. I tried to play it on the TV this morning, and it was like impossible.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I think it is nauseating to play in handheld, but it is a better handheld experience than
FX3.
Yeah, because I will not play that in handheld unless I can do the vertical mode, and even that means I have to like set it down on a table and look down at it, and that's bad for my posture. So I play it on my TV in the like vertical mode where I like lay down sideways on my couch and play. But which I think Demon's Tilt can do the same thing, but I've never done it.
Demon's Tilt you can do vertical. That's what I did this morning.
But I think it is nauseating to play handheld. It's much better on the TV. But I will say, after we talked about it and I've played it more, for a while I was getting much better. I do not understand the leaderboards. It has like my 5th best score as my global best score.
I'm not even at figuring out leaderboards yet.
I don't know, as something where it's like, there's nothing but chasing high scores. I just like want to see where I compare with you, but I have no idea.
Why can't I look at like friends scores?
Like all I know is it says your best global score is 11,000. I have no idea if that's true or not because my best global score is 9,000, and that's not true because my best is like almost 16,000. And like for a while I was consistently getting around like 7,000. And lately, since I played a little bit last night and a little bit before I got on here, the more I understand about the game, the worse I do. And I don't really know why. I do think, like you said, I don't mind it as much. Flipper-wise, I don't have any problem figuring out generally where the ball is going to go. However, there are parts on the map where the ball will just like, especially in that center table with the face, the ball will just like hit zero gravity.
The hardest skill shot is the right side of tier 2, the center area. I cannot hit that for the life of me.
Like, we just play pinball differently. Like, I don't aim for anything. I just play like don't drop the ball. And I just like hit stuff. I do better in, like I said, FX3. I played that again last night, and I do much better getting the ball to go where I want. But I think that just, like I said, it makes for a more boring game because pinball just inevitably goes on a little too long. And the nice thing about Demon's Tilt is it doesn't, but it also gets really frustrating because I just keep like
some of those drains. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
I feel like the bottom, when I first started, I played 2 whole games where I only made it up to the second table like twice. My first like 2 games I played almost entirely at the bottom and did fine. Now, once my ball drops to that bottom table, like I may as well set down the controllers because it will just, at one point, it will either drop straight between my 2 flippers or the one dead zone to the right. it will just like sit there, and every time I'm like, I gotta use the tilt to knock it over. Every time I hit the tilt, it's just like, yep, nope, all you did was ensure it's going down there now.
Yeah,
So like when you go to the hammer and get my multiplier up, I'm just like, now's the time. And I've had games before where I would get my multiplier up and then I would shoot it back up to the top and I'd do great. And now like I get my multiplier up and I'm like, okay, I'm about to lose that ball in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've had some really bad drains of late that are really frustrating. And I think like I said, I've played it a decent amount. I like it. I'm like intrigued by it because I can't seem to figure it out. I think some of the flippers physics are weird, and I don't know how much of this is just the bullet hell aspect or the moving table aspect, like the moving camera aspect, because I feel like a lot of times I'll try to... There's a lot of instances where I'm at the bottom and there's like the ball save at the bottom, and what is happening?
What?
It's like really staticky.
Yeah, it's because this loop thing was still on and I didn't realize it. Give me a second.
What?
Hold on. It's not you, it's me.
I know, but... Okay, I'm gonna mute him for a second. If that's the wrong... Oh, well, I didn't do it in time. Okay.
It's fixed. Yeah, just...
No, but I didn't want it to come through on my end, and it was really annoying.
It was that thing that I was telling you about. Pete. I didn't realize I still have that on, so that's what it kept doing.
That's obnoxious.
I have no idea what it sounds like, but it sounds like it's fucking annoying.
Yes. But, no, I was talking about, in the first, or in the bottom tier, there's the... Every now and then you get the ball save down there, and it just, like... I want to be able to let the ball slide down a little bit more, because it's still on the flipper, but then the ball save just catches it. I'm like, no, I didn't want to use the ball. I didn't need the ball save right there. Same thing with the middle tier. I just have trouble like using. Like, I don't know if it's just a physics thing or what, but I just feel like the ball doesn't come off the flippers nicely, or where I expect it to. I think the bullet hell is maybe a little more than and that was the part I was most worried about.
The bullet hell has started to get more annoyed with.
It's just something that like it causes a weird drain every now and then. It causes just weird things with the ball that I don't know how to... And you can cradle it and avoid it. But I think it's more annoying than anything for me. But... Like I said, I've been playing it. It's been fine. It's been a little frustrating. I'm trying to figure it out, and there's just something keeping me from it. But it's still playable.
I enjoy it. It's not a $20 game, especially like it's just a score chase. There's nothing beyond the score chase.
I think I would have been happier at 10, but it was literally just a thing of $2, and I don't think it was that big of a deal for...
That's the weird thing, is like, for you that $2 makes a difference, and for me that $2 is just like, it's $2. Like, if I'm going to be waiting for... If I'm interested in this game, and I'm like, I play it at 10, then I may as well play it at 12.
Well, then you might as well play it at 15.
No, because 15 is half that price.
Yeah.
$2 is just like, that's tax, even though tax still gets factored in. That 12 becomes like 13.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying, I think I tend to like run maybe a little closer to what I actively want to play right now. Whereas you're just like, yeah, I want to play this at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, I tend to fluctuate a lot more in the and like, hey, I won't spend $12 on this. And then the next day, I'm like, hey, I spent $20 on this other game that probably isn't worth $20, but I was just like, I really want to play something like this. Like, but that's cool that you can see my scores in it because I can't see yours.
Well, now I have an easy out that whatever you see, like, for the longest time it was showing. It showed my second best score from my very first game as my high score, and it sat on that, and I think that was like 7,000 or something.
Well, and we already talked about like the multiplier, just like not. It gets stuck at 6. It gets stuck at 12. I don't know if that's on purpose.
I did have a couple frame rate drops that were annoying just today, and I think that the top table moves too much. I know it's one of those things where we have these discussions often where you're just like, you can turn it off, and I'm like, yeah, but I can turn it off, but then what? It either like zooms out to show everything, or
I was trying to play around with it today, and I could not find a thing. I like tried zooming out. I tried slowing down the ball follow. I tried a ton of stuff, and it just was not doing anything. It like was not helping.
The top table I think moves too much, and the game overall, like the top table, I feel like it's really hard to stay up there, just because it's hard to keep track of the ball because it's a small little area.
And I think maybe that some of that's by design.
Sure, but it's also just like when it drops, it doesn't feel. It feels like the game is like grabbing my head and holding it in place and then moving everything. Like it feels like the game is, rather than it just being like, this is a tricky area with, like a wide gap so it's easy to drop the ball. Instead it goes like, if this would fucking stay still, you could do fine. But I'm going to make it as obnoxious as possible for you to succeed. And so it feels, every time I lose the ball, it doesn't feel like dang, there's nothing I could do, or like, dang, I missed an opportunity and that's on me. It's just like,
what do you want from me, game?
Yeah, it just feels like the game like purposely like at the last second like grabbed the controls away from me and was just like, no, you've been up here too long.
There's been a couple times where I've just been like, I didn't know, I like lost the ball in the top tier before I really even knew it was there and what I could have done about it. And I've had sometimes where the head in the middle activates and like makes that little pink spiky ball that keeps. Mm-hmm. But like I never was in the little bowl.
Yeah, it does that occasionally. I'm not sure what exactly triggers it.
See, and I wish I knew what triggered things more often. Sometimes the portal. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes the portal. There's the portal right underneath the middle flippers, and sometimes that goes to the kind of the outlane area in the bottom, and sometimes that goes to the multiplier.
it has a symbol over it when it goes to the multiplier.
Oh, it does?
It has a little hammer symbol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of times where I just like lose track of the ball, and it often happens when there's lasers everywhere. And when there are lasers everywhere, that's where I don't mind the randomness. I don't mind the lasers getting in the way. There are times where they're just like a billion bullet hell lasers, and I just feel like I can't do anything, and I wonder if I'm supposed to just like
Cradle and yeah, that's what I end up doing.
Well, and it's weird. I keep telling myself I need to hold the ball, and I never do. And it's bizarre because when I play real pinball or when I play FX3, I hold the ball constantly and line up shots. But in this, because it has that counter that's constantly going, and I love seeing
numbers go up.
A5 pop up, or not A5, S5.
Yeah.
Like, it just like unlocks that prime part of my brain that just goes like, I gotta keep this moving. I can't stop.
That's how they get you.
Oh, I need to do this stupid Ultraman thing.
Do you know what you're doing for it?
Yes. I do, but in typical Andrew fashion, like I don't know how to do it. Like, I have an idea. I finally figured it out. I knew what I wanted to do. I like tried to doodle out a couple ideas on my phone when I was at work, and I was just like, once I get like, when I was at work and I couldn't work on it, it was like all I could think about, and I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. And
That's
now
how
that I'm
I roll.
sitting here with the thing, and I'm just like, the page is too big. I don't know what I want to do. Nothing is looking right. I can't get anything, and I'm just like, I should have never agreed to do this.
That'll work out.
Oh, I don't think it will. I don't know what I'm doing. I looked at while I was setting up and making sure I had the dimensions right and everything. I looked at some of the other submissions, and they're all like very good.
Real art.
And I was just like, yeah, I shouldn't have done this. What was I thinking?
I think we're supposed to hear back from the anthology. I think he said he wanted to figure out things by the 20th. I was hoping we would at least get like a confirmation that like, hey, thanks for sending this thing in. And you were CC'd on that, right?
Yeah. I assume I can make this horizontal rather than vertical if I wanted. It doesn't say anywhere that I can find.
I'm not gonna deal with that.
I have 2 more days to do this, and I really want to get it.
You still got time?
I have not even drawn. I've drawn a circle 3 times and erased it.
Welcome to digital art.
How's your boyity going?
Heyo.
I assume that was the joke you were going for.
No, I was actually going for. So, like, since mermaids were probably traced back to like manatee or dugong sightings, I wanted to work within that constraint more, and so I was doing Stellar's sea cow, and basically I guess just didn't want to do traditional mermaid. And that's all I gotta say about that. But that was a good one. A boyity. So I started using a different brush for inking. Can you tell the difference?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I didn't know. I mean, what if I...
I mean, if you say that it looks kind of...
This was done with a different brush.
Not that I notice.
I think this has more line weight variation. This is a little more... This should be a little more consistent. But I don't know, I've been liking it, I guess. Actually, I think this is more brownish. More brown. Oh, I should check on the Penguins game. Oh yeah, 0-0. 15 seconds in. This is their year. So I told you we played Champions at 4.
Yeah.
And it was... I would be hard-pressed to play it at 4 again. It was rough. We only played half the game because it was just like... I knew it would be long. And I almost just played the villain. And ran a 3-player. But I figured everyone would be like, no, you should just play, It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I think Champions is like perfect at 2 and really good at 1. And I thought our 3-player game we played with Pete was fine. But yeah, 4 was just like so long. And I keep trying to figure out what the limitations are on playing outside of your turn. Like, I think I learned the other day that you can just defend for anybody.
Yes.
Like, I guess I've always just, when we played and then just like reading the rules and stuff like that, I must have missed it, But there's just
Well, to be fair, it's a rule that I've always known, but I always kind of forget about whenever we play. It's like never really factored in. I think Pete and I played one game where someone defended for somebody else.
and it's just something that like you just go through the turn order and you're like, okay, he's attacking you. What do you do? Do you defend? And you don't think about like, hey, I'll defend. I'll defend for you. You think about allies and stuff like that. But I was trying to like read through things, and I know you can do actions on other players' turns and like give them resources if you have a card that you can tap that gives resources and stuff like that. You can play cards from your hand if they're actions outside of your turn. It has that thing that since it's a living card game, like there's a huge like living rules reference, like Magic, where it's just like, yeah, we have all these kind of like edge case. There's like I don't know if you've looked at it. There's like this huge thing about defining what you is.
Really?
Yeah, because some cards say like, hey, like you deal damage or whatever, like, or you take this. And there's all this stuff about stuff defining what you is. There's all this stuff defining what like defense is, because you have that thing where you defend, but you don't like. It's not a basic defend. It's just a defend event. And it's like, well, am I defending? Kirsten and I had a thing the other day about, like, you deal damage. Okay, is that an attack that's retaliated? And it's fine, and I usually try and keep everything moving forward, and, you know, it works well enough. But then afterwards, I just have to like go through and be like, okay, what is the actual ruling here? Like, would a retaliate go after a deal damage? Since it's not an attack, or just a whole big thing. Because, yeah, like, we were even saying that it'd be nice to have more stuff to do on turns. Or, like, when it's not your turn, or to help out and stuff like that. And, like, there is a decent amount. It's just, I never know what is available. Or what we can do.
I really wanted to draw Avenger, but I mean, actually, be probably the easiest thing to draw. But I don't think it's Who all were the heroes?
Thor. Kirsten was Thor. My sister-in-law was Black Widow. Josh was She-Hulk, and I was Miss Marvel.
What did everybody else think of the game?
Josh liked it, and I figured he would.
They played?
That was the first time they played, yeah. Josh liked it. I figured he would. He loves, and he was saying this afterwards, he loves, like, mechanics where you have to spend cards to play cards.
Mm-hmm.
And he was She-Hulk. He was like leadership She-Hulk, and he really liked just like playing a bunch of allies and stuff like that. We played against Mutagen Green Goblin, which was fun. I like Mutagen Green Goblin and all his little like allies or minions and stuff like that. We did a decent enough job at holding off his scheme. It never advanced to the second stage. It would have advanced if we didn't call it when we beat his first villain level. Miss Marvel, I really like Miss Marvel. I thought Kirsten would, and she played her, and it just like her cards didn't really show up well, so there wasn't really anything. She didn't really flip a lot, and I played her just because I think Hawkeye is the last person I need to play, and I think I've played them all. But I wanted everybody was just kind of picking, and I figured if I'm playing with 4, I might as well use 1 from each aspect. Mm-hmm. And so nobody was protection, and so I was just like, I like Miss Marvel. And she just did not... I stayed Miss Marvel the entire time. And like all of her little combo stuff that I really loved when I played her at your place just didn't show up. And I can only imagine that's how Kirsten's game was when she played, and it was just like kind of boring to play as, which was a shame since I really loved her the first time I played her. But Kirsten liked Thor enough. I like Thor a lot. I think my sister-in-law said she liked it decent enough.
Like that, I think.
Well, she's usually...
happy to be included.
No, I don't know. She like, I think she's just usually like maybe not as vocal as everybody else. It sounds bad, but yeah, I think she just likes being included and just like, yeah, no, that was fun. And then later, my brother is just like, yeah, she doesn't really like games that you just like play a little bit and then read a thing, and then play a little bit and then read a thing. And it's like, oh, like that's my jam. That's what we do. Sorry that I've been like just making you do that.
Burgle Brothers 2, I finished. So I played a solo game the other day, and I didn't want to do. There's like a campaign, and I was like, I don't want to do the campaign. And then it said like you can choose a random, like the campaign involves like choosing a like a finale thing that are in like an envelope, and you do them in order. And it's like, or you can just do one at random. But the way the phrasing was in the book at first, I thought like, okay, this isn't this isn't a thing that I have to do. I could just play like Burgle Brothers without the finale, and then I'm sure the finale is something different. But there's actually like no end game if you don't have the finale.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure you could house rule it to be basically like normal Burgle Brothers, where you just gotta like open the safe and get out.
Mm-hmm.
But so I played it and I opened the safe and I was like, now what? And it's like, I looked in the rules and it's like, now you do the thing that you should have set up. And I was like, oh, I didn't do that. Okay, well, I played the game and I'm good. And then I went and told you about it and everything. And then I left it set up. So I went back the next day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish it out. I'm going to try like the first scenario and see what it is. And it was actually it was simple, but it was interesting. So once you open the safe, you're not stealing valuables from the safe, you're stealing information. You're supposed to be like finding these two people and escorting them out of the casino without getting caught. But you don't know who you're looking for until you open the safe.
Huh.
And there's a bunch of new stuff that the game adds, and one of the things that I really like is, in addition to flipping over tiles when you enter them or peek on them, there's also these like poker chips that you put randomly on the board. You no longer use actions to add dice to the safe like you did in the first one, where you could just like go to the safe and then use an action to add a die to it, or use like 4 actions or whatever it was. Now you have to find these poker chips, and there are 4 of them that are a mole, and the mole has inside information on the casino, and he, when you find him, will drop a die to add to the safe. But it doesn't go directly to the safe. It goes to the owner's office. Unless you have not found the owner's office, then it just drops on the space that he's on. But once the owner's office is found, it is moved to the owner's office. At the owner's office, you can use an action to move any dice there onto the safe if the safe has been found. And then when you're on the safe, you can use an action to roll all of the dice on the safe, and then you take 1 die and you put it back in the owner's office. So you could, if you had all 4 dice, you could roll 4 times, but each time you're rolling 1 fewer die, and then someone else or you have to go back to the owner's office to send the dice back to the safe again. And the poker chips also involve like other things. There's a crowd that you can hide in. There's a prima donna where if she's flipped when you move into a space, it doesn't do anything. But if she's flipped when you peek, she forces you to automatically move to that space anyway. There's an undercover cop where if when he is flipped, he forces the guard to automatically move to where he is. There's a drunk one, which forces you to slide into the next space. And there is... It might be drunk as well. But there's something that forces you to drop from the 2nd floor down to the 1st floor. There's a saleswoman that forces you to stay on her space until either an item moves you off of it or another player comes, because she just like keeps you there and you talk and you are not allowed to leave until someone else comes to get you. But it's really interesting. It adds a lot of like little events and stuff to the game to keep it from getting stale. It puts a lot of risk into, even before there was a risk in peeking just because you needed to keep moving because the guards moved a bunch. Now there are more options to get guards to move where you want them to move, but they also they have a little more randomness to them, and then there's also just the risk of like peeking and still being forced to do something anyway.
Yeah.
And so when I unlocked the safe, it made me put all of the chips back on the board, but I had to find the 2 prima donnas because those were the ones that I had to escape with. But if I was ever on the same space as a guard while I had one of the prima donnas on me, I automatically lost. So I had to go back around the board again, searching all the tokens and avoiding the guards, trying to find the 2 prima donnas and then escape. Which I thought was more interesting than just like opening the safe and leaving.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool.
To be fair, the first one had like the different things that you would get. You had to... The first one had 2 to 3 floors, and each floor had its own safe. And each item you got out of the safe would then add a new rule to the game. Like, I remember there was like a dog that you would have to, every time you moved, you'd have to roll a die. And if you rolled a certain number, the dog would bark and alert the guards. But, I don't know. It was really interesting. I'd like to play where I'm not the only player. I just played two people.
Could you have played it with Pete, just like online, if you shared it?
It'd be hard to set up the board that way. I mean, I could.
Oh yeah, no, because of the tier. No, you're right.
Like in the first one, every character had like an ability or two. I remember they had like 2 sides, and one side had a different ability. But in this one, your character doesn't have an ability. They have gear, and one of your actions can be to set up a piece of gear, and then you can use an action to use it. So each character starts with 3 pieces of gear, but I guess through the legacy aspect you can find more.
Yeah.
But they all have, some of them are one-time use, some of them are like 2 or 3 times. And then once you use it, you flip that over, and then that card can be discarded for like an additional thing. Like one of them, like I thought they were all just like you could they were like in Sentinels, where once you die, you just have like one generic. Everybody has the same generic action of just like allowing everybody to, or allowing someone to take an extra action or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was the first one I saw, was like you can discard this to give another player an additional action, but it's actually it's different for each one. Some of them it's like you flip it over and it's like you can remove heat from a player, or you can discard it to cause a commotion to alert the guards or whatever. But the different items were interesting. I used I think his name's the Rook, who's like the leader guy, and then I don't remember what I think he's like the illusionist or something. He's a magician in this game, and I think he was an illusionist in the other game, but that guy had like a zip line and a grappling hook, which he could use to like move from one end of the floor to the other. If he was on like one wall, he could move to the other wall automatically, and then he also had a grappling hook that allowed him to move directly above him. And then he had like a fake mustache that he could use to not take heat from something. But you also like, your items can be used anywhere or at any time. So like you can use your item on someone else's turn for them, as I understood it. Which at first I thought they would only be used for you, but it seems like you can use them at any point if you need to. But I don't know. It's interesting. I'm interested to try more.
I saw to talk about what you had sent me yesterday, that Paperback Adventures. Mm-hmm. I didn't look into it a ton. It sounded real.
As of right now, there's not much to look at.
Yeah. It's not. I guess. Yeah, I say I didn't look at it a ton, but I looked at it enough to see that it was an upcoming Kickstarter thing. But I was actually more. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, and then I saw it was I was like more interested in it as a video game, and I don't know if that's just because like roguelike video games entice me more or sound more interesting, or like just something I can set up or start up, I guess, and then burn through a couple times. But I did save it to see what would come from it. I had looked at that Station Fall before, and I think with Nemesis. It was something I was just like, yeah, this seems really cool, but I just don't need it.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
Not this one.
Hey, no, what else? Was that really it? I feel like there was one more thing. I know you just sent me like a couple other small things, but...
Possibly? I don't remember. I told you I finished Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly a thing. That's more.
Yeah. It seemed like you liked it, just it had its problems.
I am glad that I took the time to.
What do I do here?
I'm glad I took the time to read it. It's interesting. It's just. It's flawed. I don't think it earns the ending that it gets, and I think part of that is just I don't think the character Kirkman wrote is the same character that Kirkman had in his head as he was writing. I think he thought he was doing something entirely different than he actually did.
Oh.
Because it feels like the ending goes like kind of hits this thing where it's like, look, we finally reached this end point that I planned, and it's like, I believe you planned this. I don't believe you actually got here as organically as you think you did. Like, I think it flies in the face of everything that the series did until that point. It just like at the very end, just like pretends that it got there. Did you let me agree with this?
It's for your own good.
Is it?
No, it's for my own good. But no, I'm really proud of you. I'm real proud of you, son. Buddy. Are you winning, buddy? Sonny? Did I mention I was trying to, like, ink and color more things than just my usual do a dumb blue sketch? Hopefully I do that. Wonder how the hockey game you don't care about is doing.
Are they winning, son?
They're tying, son. They're tying. They're tying the knot.
How about this picture I just sent you?
I'm gonna look at it. I promise.
So during all this Toei stuff that's been going on,
Yeah. Has anything more happened with it?
not that I know, but I learned that that Ultraman show on Netflix, the anime,
Yeah.
based on a manga, that happened, I guess, because the creators of that manga originally made a unofficial Kamen Rider manga called something in Sectors. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically about like the son of an original Kamen Rider and all this crap. And Toei found out about it, even though they were distributing it for free. They found out about it and shut it down.
Yeah.
And I guess they've continued it, but they only sell it certain places, and I guess they worked out some kind of thing with Toei where they're allowed to do it, but they sell it in like certain places or something. I don't know. Anyway, after that happened, they ended up making a official Ultraman manga with Tsuburaya that is about the son of the original Ultraman.
Just basically the same thing, only.
Pretty much.
I
But
love
it's official,
this.
and it got turned into an anime. What, the Avenger with a gun?
Yeah.
Now, not only is that a delightful picture, but also remember that he's like 50 feet tall, so that stupid accurate machine gun is also humongous.
I thought he was like 5 feet tall. And I loved it more. Oh, wait, I guess this should be probably... That's not working for me. Eh. Yeah, with you finishing Jack Staff, Invincible, I was like, I should read Jack Staff. I might try and, with it being nice today, I might just try and sit outside and start it, never to read past the first issue.
Once I finished it, I was like, well, I should read the Guardians of the Globe book. Since I like finished that recently, so it's like they're in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Get back into tell you there's it's weird.
I was just saying yesterday how I gotta at some point start Persona 5 Royal.
Well, didn't you actually start it? You just never...
I did, yeah, I need to actually like do it. I would restart it though. I mean, I only played for 15 minutes before I was like, I'm not in the mood for this visual novel right now.
I think I'm at the point now where I can finally say, like, whenever I decide to do it, I could restart The Witcher.
Yeah. Well, now with, I don't know when I would get it, probably not soon, but like, I'm interested in the Mass Effect re-release. That good, huh?
Well, I've made progress to the point that I can probably finally start, like, really drawing it rather than just, like, kind of... I don't know. I don't really do, like, sketching out. I just kind of, like,
do it.
Start. And this time I was like, I should sketch it out. So I, like, sketch it out, but it's not like a real drawing. It's probably what most people do for the drawing. But for me, it's like... This is me just kind of like, I guess, getting my thoughts in order, which is probably what a sketch is for most people. But I feel like for most people, like I said, for most people, the sketch is the beginning of the drawing. And for me, it's just like, I need to get like these things out of my brain so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like stuck between like, neither one really works, where I have this thing where it's kind of like zoomed out. And I'm like, it's there, but it looks weird, and I'm like, what if I like zoomed it in and did this differently? But then I'm like, then I don't think the stuff that I need is going to be able to be in there. It's going to be like too cramped.
I feel like I've been kind of changing up my style a tiny bit, which is nice since I feel like I'm a lot looser in it, and I'm just like, whatever. But since it's not like what I normally do, I'm still in this weird like, is this right? Look at me, it's not just a quick hour. I told you.
6 minutes over. That's the amount of time you had to spend looking at how to get your mic to work.
Yeah. You know it.
Alright, let's see here. I really don't want to be drawing this all day.
Then don't. Draw all night.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you way better.
Can you really?
Yeah, you're way louder.
Oh, well, I'm not on my computer anymore.
Oh. Yeah, you're like way louder. So good job.
Just let me... Okay, we'll just do this. Can you see my screen?
If I looked at it, maybe. 1 second. Let's see here. Can I see your screen? Yep. Hey, look at that thing. Hey, look at
Does
you.
any of that, does that make sense? Does that work? I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm asking a professional artist. Are you still there? Am I still here?
What's the... Yeah, no, I like this. There's a little person. He's like pushing the
Yeah.
monster back. Yeah.
Anything I should change before I actually start doing stuff?
Do you want to send this to me as just like a JPEG?
Yeah. Oh my god. Everything is going nuts.
For donuts?
How did I actually save that?
Oh, come on, I can figure this
no.
out.
Please hold so you don't see how embarrassing it is as I try and find this file.
I'm drawing. And hearing myself.
Yeah, it's probably because I had to turn you up so I could actually hear you on this computer. I tried this last night with Pete. Like, it'll still run your stream on my.
Just refuses to like connect the audio. Say something.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Am I quieter now?
You are way quieter.
Yeah. Okay. So this mic is super quiet then. I don't really know why. Probably because I turned it down on. Alright, where the fuck did I save this thing?
Let's just keep adding stuff, I guess.
It's in downloads. Why is it in downloads? Alright, I sent it.
Oops. Please hold while I ignore you. Oh, I think that's going to be what it is.
Huh?
No, I think I'm going to be done with my mermaid thing. What do you think of that?
Looks good.
Thanks. Okay, let me see what the only thing I would say and this is
Yeah, tear me a new one.
I think it would be nice to see, let's see, this is, where's the edge of it? I don't know, right here? I guess I could probably just go. Oop, okay. The only thing, it'd be nice to see like a foreground, whether or not you just block them off like that. Well, I hope it says shop. That way you get a little bit more depth.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the shaping. And I think this is like a good bring it in, and see this person. That's really all I got. And maybe if you put something here, maybe just put, I don't know, you don't really even need this. I think the nice thing about your stuff is that it strives on being like so simple and fun. And I don't want to tell you to add like a bunch in.
It's because I'm lazy.
It's the way to do it. But yeah, at the very least, I would just add something kind of in this corner. Make sure you don't make it the same size as his head.
Okay.
But I would just cover his feet like you were Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. No more feats.
I love this face. Is that Zagramore? Is that the guy I drew?
Vemular? Yep.
Chicks dig Vemular. You didn't want to just turn in my piece that I did?
You know, I've thought about it.
Is this my thing? Oops, I'm drawing on your thing. Sorry, I'm ruining it. I thought he was crying. I was gonna say, don't draw him crying.
He's so happy to be helping a little old lady across the street.
I don't know why this is like the greatest mouth I've ever drawn.
I might have to copy that.
I wish I could cartoon like you. Yeah, I know. You wish you could draw like me.
I wish I could draw in general.
This is like such a mouth that's so sure of itself.
How about that big stupid tear and his dumb little fat boy grin?
That's what it is. Mama calls me fat boy. I'm not allowed to save old ladies often. Mama calls me fat boy. All right. Yeah, honestly, all I would do is put something down there. You got a lot of dead space down here. I don't know if you want to cut that.
The problem is, so they gave me this like area. They gave me this like grid to fit to, and so there is a bit of dead space underneath it. But I didn't want to put, like, because of the way I have everything like the old lady is so low.
Yeah, you don't want to put her just down at the bottom.
I didn't want to put her below what is basically like the actual area of the drawing. But I didn't know I don't know if I might throw some cars in. Well, those would be cars literally stopping right in front of her as she crosses, and they're stopping in the middle of an intersection. So I don't know what to put there.
You could.
I guess I could have a car going across like the same direction she's going.
You know what you could do? Let me bring this back because I screwed it up. I wonder if it would work if you did like a train.
That's a good idea. Trains are hard, but that's a good idea. And I guess you just drew one very simply, and that's essentially all I need to do.
Yeah. And then you can use that to kind of make some of that space. Although, I don't know if this is necessarily like the thing to do. But that would fill this space. Because you also don't want to like get in the way of showing that this is a crosswalk.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess if you
put the sign over there.
If you had a little bit more, you could do a car.
I mean, I guess I have room to push everything slightly over.
Over.
I like that arrow at his dick to really show where it needs to go over.
Keep in mind, I think Japan drives on the other side of the road.
You're right. They do.
I don't do perspective grids as much as I should, but this might be a thing you want a perspective grid.
I don't perspective anything. Everybody lives on a flat space. This is the most three-dimensional space I think I've ever done.
I don't know, dude. It's your drawing.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it.
He looks like the guy who drives the or the X-wing. What am I doing here? All right, I'm gonna close out of this. Thanks for Andrew drew that, not Seth. Seth drew this. Thanks for watching. I got to touch base with Colin, but I think we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, which isn't scheduled yet, but that should be Arkham Horror tomorrow. I don't think I said we're back to regularly scheduled programming, but I don't think I'm up on Wednesday because I get my second dose of vaccine, super vaccine, I think they call it. Do they call it that still? Or was that just me?
No, they absolutely still call it that.
They call it that, okay. And everyone's trying to win that X-Man lottery. So I might not go live on Wednesday just due to that. And another episode of The Watchers up on Friday, and then some more drawing on Sunday. So hope to see everybody during those. In the meantime, have a good rest of your day or night or whatever, and I'll catch you then. Bye.